Hi, this is John Abraham and you're watching Bollywood Hungama.
Well, we have with us John Abraham. The reviews for Parmanu have been spectacular and his performance is being dubbed as his finest ever. Pleasure having you back on Bollywood Hungama.
Thank you, Faizal.
And after the intense, I think, pre-release jitters and all the activities that have been taking place, are you finally happy and vindicated that the film is getting such great response?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thankful to the Honorable High Court for, and it's in public domain, the court order. So when you read it, they've just validated what I've been going through. But I want bygones to be bygones. I don't know. I don't have any negativity around my film. The response has been overwhelming, you know. So I'm really thankful to the media. I'm thankful to the people. And I just want more and more people to come in and see it, because this is a film about unsung heroes. And this is a film not just about the army, but about the engineers and scientists and the bureaucrats that all came together to make this happen.
Right. Okay. How important is it for anyone to have a credibility? Because when you've been around for 15 years, I think it's a credibility that finally people tend to believe in you.
Yeah, I think you need credibility on two counts, Faridun. You need credibility in the kind of subjects you choose as a producer and as an actor. And you need credibility in the honesty of your work. And I say this on record, and I'm very proud to say this. My father's never dealt in black money, you know, we've never bribed or cheated. And I think not by design, but by default, I am my father's son. So you just want to do everything very honestly, in a straight way. So at least in the trade, you know, when a studio comes to John Abraham or J Entertainment, they say, no, it's John. It's honest, it's clean. And that's the impression I want. On the film front, I think it's very important, Faridun, that as a producer, if you see Vicky Donor, Madras Cafe, now Parmanu, you'll be wondering what is next. And trust me, my next announcement will be, how did he think of this now? But it should always be something different, something non-formula.
Okay, and how do you react when it is being called? Because I think the movie has just released today, but the press... you know, and I've not been able to see the film. I really wanted to yesterday, but we were busy in an interview. And but the people whom I trust and who are not the regular reviewers, and they are saying wonderful things about the film, which I think is important for me. And how do you react when your performance is being called as the best performance ever, and there's a lot of intensity and the climax is wonderful, and so much is.
So Faridan, I think it's important to be, so my character of Ashwath Raina, he's a very subtle character. He's not John Abraham. So you forget John Abraham somewhere through the film. At the start of the film, you only realize his journey in the climax, when he breaks down. So when he breaks down, the audience breaks down with him. And then they realize what he sacrificed through the entire film. And that's when his performance, the culmination of his character, comes together. So I think, people have been very kind. People have said very positive things. But at the end of the day, the character is as good as the painting. The painting has to be good. So the film has to be good.
Correct.
And I give credit to Abhishek Sharma for doing the most difficult thing. And you may ask what that is. The most difficult thing is to take such a complicated subject on fusion bombs, on fission bombs, on sub-kiloton blasts, on shafts, on DRDO, BARC, ISRO, IB, Army, such complicated information, detonators, everything, get it all together and make it simple. Make it simple so you can reach the common man. So you'll have a noir audience that will say, oh, this film is too simple. But you'll have the common man, friends like who you trust, who'll watch it and say, man, it feels proud to be Indian. It's fantastic. What a film, because we understood everything that was going on and you made it so simple for us.
Did you have any apprehensions, considering Abhishek has made Tere Bin Laden and it's like a comedy, and it's a wonderful satire. Now he's making a film which is totally contrast, maybe in a way, to what he has done before. So did you have any apprehensions as far as that thing is concerned?
I think you answered the question in a way in your question. I think Tere Bin Laden was a political satire. And when you meet Abhishek, he's an encyclopedia on everything political in this country.
Okay.
He knows everything. So when you see Parmanu also, you realize that it's about India, but we're not gone the over-patriotic, the jingoistic way. It's not about Pakistan bashing. It is not about China bashing. It is not about bashing anybody else. It's just about how great our country became because of what we did. And if this film inspires our people to feel good about our country, I'm sure any other country would want to make a similar film and say, hey man, even we can make and tell a story on this, and we feel great about ourselves.
All right. Now you said about Abhishek being an encyclopedia on the entire everything political. Do you get bothered when any big I think discovery takes place? The agencies and the institutions who actually plan and execute it, maybe they are not given that their due recognition, and suddenly it all becomes about hogging the limelight and just taking the credit that इस political party के regime में ये हुआ था और उस political party के regime में ये हुआ था कि that हमने ये achievement किया है. Because ultimately, as it is said in the promo as well, that if anything goes wrong, so we don't know you, so we will disown you.
Yeah.
That ways, if you go through, well enough.
Yeah.
So it's the people who actually execute it and plan it. I think they deserve far more recognition than maybe the political parties hogging all the attention.
Absolutely. But to give credit where it's due, this happened in Atal Bihari Vajpayee's time. And as much as, each one of us and even the viewers of Bollywood Hungama who are watching this have their political inclinations, I think that's one time where you can say a Prime Minister acted for the country. And he did it in conjunction with probably the most loved Indian, APJ Kalam. And the two of them were a formidable force to make this happen. And not only just two of them. There was Chidambaram, who was the scientist then. There was Dr. Anil Kakodkar, who built the bomb. So, when I made Madras Cafe, a lot of people thought it was a Congress film. When I'm making Parmanu, a lot of people will think it's a BJP film. But let me be very clear. My film's a people's film. I'm making it for the people. Very clearly. I have no political inclinations and I don't harbor any. I'm a secular person in my heart and my mind. I hold no hatred against people or countries or religion or anything. But I'm a filmmaker. I want to make a film to entertain people. And Parmanu is an engaging thriller. So people who see it, and yesterday I just happened to be watching it with some of the members of your fraternity. And I have never experienced this before, where the press got up and they clapped in the end. And for me, that did the job because they were watching it as an audience. And when they walked out, they were crying. Some of them were crying out of happiness, hugged me, just crying, unabashedly crying. And for me, if it evokes that kind of a reaction, my job is done.
How important is it that maybe many times people don't value the freedom and the independence that they tend to have? Because when you see around you and when you see in the other parts of the world, how freedom is taken away from certain countries, certain people is something, and it has like some really horrific tales. There are critics of I think almost everything. There are critics of the fact that maybe what was the point in going nuclear in the first place? You're making the entire region unsafe in a way as well. But the fact is that protecting your own territory is something which should be paramount for everyone. How do you look at various opinions which tend to happen, and especially about this entire nuclear stuff that we managed to do, because America was strictly against it at that point of time, but then everything settled down after a point of time. So how do you look at this, that there is criticism for almost everything, but maybe certain things they should be looked maybe in a broader context as well?
Very simple. First of all, I think the world has become very polarized today. But let's keep that aside. Let's see what happened in 98. In 98, America wasn't an ally of India. Okay, America was allied to our neighbors at that point of time. Both our neighbors, and China was an emerging superpower then. So we needed to, stand our ground. There was no USSR at that point of time. USSR had broken up. There was Russia, and then there were the other states. So we had a very important dialogue in the film कि अब हम डर के शांत नहीं बैठेंगे, करके बैठेंगे. So we had to posture, we had to show that we can self-sustain. And when anybody thinks about nuclear, we always think about weaponizing. Yes, it was it was a peaceful test in a way, but nuclear energy is also used for self-sustenance. We wanted to sustain, we wanted to make sure, like one of the scientists in the film says, he's got claustrophobia, and he realized that he wanted to conduct this test because one day the lift stopped and he doesn't want the lift to ever stop. He wants every village to have light, which is why we wanted to be a self-sustaining power. Talking about that, I feel when we conducted the tests, you had the G5 at that time, you had the 5 powerful nations, first world nations who felt they could be nuclear and who could dictate terms to countries that were not.
Correct.
My point is very simple. It is my own simple way and humble way of saying is, what gives you the power to say you're right and we are wrong? What gives you the power?
You've said in the promo as well that America has tested so many nuclear bombs, and China has done as well, and it's America which is trying to police other people that you shouldn't be going nuclear.
Yeah, I think so, and I think, and that's what I think the beauty of this film is. At the end of the day, who's the villain in this film? The villain in this film is a satellite. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's not any person or country.
Right.
It's a satellite, for heaven's sake. So I think the idea was to make something totally different. Yesterday, when my friends saw it, one of them walked out, who's a director, and he said, "Man, today I'm scared of a satellite. I didn't know satellites are so dangerous." And I said, "Yeah, they're dangerous. They can see the time on your watch. Even if you're sitting here, Faridun, there could easily be a satellite above us that could see what's written on your cap." And that's how satellites are today. They're probe. So I think we wanted to get that across to the world, saying the world is a very small place today. And India, below the noses of the Americans and these satellites, conducted this test. And if you Google Operation Shakti, and if you Google the Pokhran 2 test, and when you read it, fact reads more interesting than fiction. That's why the plot in our film, the names have been fictionalized. The names have been completely fictionalized. We couldn't take Kalam Saab's name, Chidambaram's name, Kakotkar sir's name. We couldn't take these names because you get into rights issues and you get into biopic issues, and it's not about the people, it's about the mission.
Correct.
But the plot is 100% factual. The only fictitious character, like in Madras Cafe, is my character. Because you need to tell the story from someone's eyes.
Correct.
You need to see the story from someone's shoulders.
You spoke about Kalam Saab. Now, I think his life is an example to many in terms of, and I think it was a hugely selfless life even after just getting away from being the president. He was still speaking to students, he was still devoting his time to just imparting education or whatever knowledge that he had. And he's the missile man of this country. At the same time, say if you're talking about Pakistan, so Mr. Khan, who made their nuclear weapon, he actually made the world a more dangerous place by actually just selling the secrets to various other countries, so which I think is another aspect of that having power and maybe misusing that. So we are proud of Mr. Kalam, but Mr. Khan actually made the world more unsafe as well. It's a very tricky thing actually, because if you are privy to nuclear, I think any sort of idea, it's very dangerous, and you have to be extremely responsible, no matter what your loyalties or what your personal requirements are.
Yes, I just think where the film's concerned, our clear focus was on telling the world what we did, or telling our people what we did.
Correct.
We're not here to, like, and I keep reiterating this, we're not here to give our point of view on what our neighbors did. That's not our concern at this point.
I'm not saying about the neighbors, I'm saying it can be anyone else. But it can be anyone else.
When it goes into somebody's hands,
it can be anyone else.
Yeah, it is probably the most dangerous thing. And I must say this on record, from my director to me to, I was just going to say to my producer, I'm the producer also. We're all very anti-nuclear. And when you see the film, you'll understand why India conducted the tests. And Vajpayee ji very specifically said that there's going to be a no first use policy. We're not going to use this against any country first. We're not going to use this against any country at all that doesn't have nuclear weapons. So I don't know whether the viewers understand, but the radiation in certain areas where nuclear tests have been conducted or atom bombs have been dropped.
Yeah, I know.
The radiation lasts
I've seen documentaries about this entire Nagasaki and
Hiroshima.
It is still very, very impacted.
The radiation lasts not for 20 years, not for 30 years, not for 50 years, not for 70 years. In some cases, for 1,000 years. This is how we destroy the world.
The soil has been destroyed. The generations have been in soil in terms of genetics. So
I have to tell you something very interesting.
It is very, very horrifying.
I have to tell you something very interesting, and this is true. I've used the word of that little town next to Pokhran. It's called Khatoli. And I went to Khatoli during my research for this film. And it's a town closest to the Pokhran range. And I met a 65-year-old man. And I said, आप थे यहाँ पे जब ये टेस्ट हुए थे? And he's saying, हाँ मैं था. I said, तो क्या हुआ, मतलब ज़मीन हिला, क्या हुआ, आपके घर को क्या हुआ? I asked him. And he's saying, बेटा मेरा दीवार टूट गया. And he showed me the cracks. And I said, आपने वैसे ही छोड़ा है? He's saying, हाँ वैसे ही छोड़ा है क्योंकि दीवार टूट गया लेकिन इंडिया तो बन गया ना.
क्या बात है?
So the minute he said that, I said, oh, I get goosebumps. Because the minute he said that, I said, I can't make my film sophisticated, noir, only for a few people. I want my film to be simplified so it reaches the lowest common denominator and everybody in this country can watch it. Yesterday, the people who served me tea in this office saw the film and they said, sir, ये India पे best film है sir. हम लोग बार-बार देखने जाएंगे इसको. And that's the reaction I want. I showed it to a couple. The man is a retired Air Force officer and the wife is a school principal. The Air Force officer said, this is the best film on this country. The wife said that this film should be in the curriculum of every school and college.
Wow.
Why? Not because I think we've had some path-breaking film, but because we've simplified it so sweetly. All credit to Abhishek Sharma. And we've actually told people very simply, this is what happened in Pokhran, this is how it happened in Pokhran.
Correct.
And we've laid it out very easily.
You said that you simplified the entire film and there are a lot of intricate details that have been showcased in the film. You have this entire, I think, image of being this actor who's constantly been doing something or the other for the society, and you've had this entire positive image. But when now you've made this film which is doing wonders, I think, which will do wonders for the country's defense and in the entire image as well. But when you just hear these statements that actors maybe they don't have IQ and they're meant for song and dance and those sort of things, does that bother you? Because I think you have done so many films which have been, you've done Kabul Express as well.
Yeah, but I think that's a problem because honestly there are actors who have very low IQ and high confidence, and that's the most dangerous thing, even more dangerous than nuclear bombs.
Okay.
Because I believe that, and I've done films like Kabul Express with my dear friend and one of my favorite directors, Kabir Khan. Incidentally, Kabir saw the film yesterday. He loved it. He loved it. So they're very happy to meet a few of my director friends there. Everybody was there. And I was just so happy to see all of them. But I think there are actors, and you very well know a lot of them, who don't even know where Sri Lanka is on the map or where Germany is on the map. Leave aside Austria, forget where you went. So I think it's very important for an actor to be politically aware.
Right.
Very important. I'm not saying do only political films. Do not. I'm a big fan of commercial cinema. I love Anis Bazmi. I love his films. I loved Welcome Back. Whatever people, I loved it.
Right.
I love Dhamal, I love Golmaal, I love comedies, and I enjoyed it. It's my favorite genre.
Right.
But it's very important for an actor to be politically aware because you have to be very careful about the statements you make there. Not that you need to be politically correct. You're not just a model. You're a role model for people. So you bloody well know what you're belting out there before you say it.
Right. No, but say someone like Farhan Akhtar for that matter.
Oh, he's so intelligent.
Yeah, but if he speaks about like say Swara Bhaskar or like a Richa Chadda, if they, and they are I think knowledgeable, they do understand a lot of what is going on. But then the way they are trolled and say so ladies for that matter, they're slut shamed and rape threats are issued. So that is something which is really disconcerting. That the moment an actor has a certain opinion, and it's an intelligent opinion, the way they are trolled and just looked down upon, that you shouldn't be talking about all these things, that is a cause of concern in a way.
Yeah, so I think it's a cause of concern if the actor decides to then go into a shell. If you've taken a stand, then you be out there. As simple as that. Trolling, and this word is used so often, it's an abused word, it's a cuss word today, trolling. I think, I choose not to read comments. You know, very honestly, Faridun, I don't read
That's
a lot
the best
of comments.
way of handling
Yeah, but when I read comments once, strangely it goes into country bashing and religion. I don't understand how conversations veer there. It beats me.
Right.
So my assumption is that people who say negative things, and with all due respect to them, have very limited knowledge, and unfortunately most of them are men. That's a strange, but most of them are
quite
men.
a bit of them are paid actually. They are doing paid trolling as well.
I am sure, you know, I've heard things and I've been warned about my own films where I've been told that, listen, we'll make sure we get groups together and we get you down. And I said, but that doesn't exist. How can you do that? And they say, listen, with money we can do anything. And it shocks you. So I just believe that sometimes the honesty of the fourth estate also is questionable. That's the media. But at the same time, I think money is a big driver. You know, as much as we talk about religion today, the biggest religion in the world is money. You know, and that's the saddest part of our society.
But still, you know, talking about the fact that you said that bringing religion into account and bashing of anything and everything, that can be, you know, it's many a times it is unconstitutional as well, and it goes beyond maybe the domain of any domain of decency, and it becomes really crass for the matter. Like say what Swara has experienced recently, or like say Richa has experienced recently, or like say maybe Kareena or Sonam, they took a certain stand, and the way they were trolled after that. So it was quite disconcerting that boycott their films, like say Amir and Shah Rukh, the way they have experienced that boycott their films, and their anti-nationals go to Pakistan if you belong to a.
That's stupid.
So,
I mean,
which
I
is,
think I have a lot of love for, I have a lot of respect for Amir. Shah Rukh, I personally, I mean, I love him. You know, and these people have got a point of view, and in a democracy, you cannot keep pushing down a point of view. You cannot keep pressing down a point of view. I think each one must be allowed to speak. And I come from a minority from both my sides. My father's a Christian, my mother's an Irani.
Yes.
But let me tell you, I don't think there is anybody in this country who's prouder to be an Indian than I am.
Exactly. Because
you know what I'm saying?
You believe in that.
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
totally. And I also believe there are very good people in the world. I believe that there are people who are inclusive. There are good people. Someone asked me the other day about another cuss word. Let me be very honest with you. Nepotism. And said, nepotism exists in this industry. What do you feel about it? I said, but aren't doctors' kids doctors? And engineers' kids engineers? And judges' kids, don't they become judges? Nepotism exists everywhere. Why do we single out our industry? And I said, I'm an outsider. But my closest friends are children whose parents belong to the industry. And I am not bitter about it. I have no problem with it.
Right.
You know, I think you must coexist, live and let live. Yes, you must be cognizant of the fact that you have to fight harder.
Exactly.
But have fun in that. Don't be bitter about it. So I think, you know, it's easy to make a debate out of everything, and especially, Faridun, for someone like you, you'll understand this better than anybody, because when you see comments, the first thing you think of is that he specifically doesn't have a face. He can say anything he wants to.
That though is there.
You know what I'm saying? And
that's
why they comment. So
that though is.
Yeah, so there's a world out there that coexists. There's a world out here. Unfortunately today, and I want to make a film on this, I think the real world has become the virtual world, and the virtual world has become the real world.
Yeah, the fake news is the real news now, actually.
Yeah. It's like you're sitting in front of me.
Yeah.
Is virtual, because the Faridun I know is always on Bollywood Hungama with different caps.
Right.
And singing these beautiful love songs that I keep hearing.
When did you hear that?
And I see you singing that lovely pout when you sing.
It's like,
So,
you know, Talking about nepotism, I think no one would know better than you that say what has happened with Abhishek Bachchan for that matter. You know, I think the amount of pressure which is there on him to just keep on proving himself, it's like I think enormous. He's done some really good films like Yuva and Guru.
But I'll tell
and
you
all
something. Forget the films.
It's like it's really the pressure is
forget
enormous
the films,
on him.
Faridun.
Yeah.
Abhishek, when you meet him, and for people who don't know him, he's the most dignified man.
He is
fantastic. He knows how to conduct himself, handle himself, and he's so gracious about the way he replies to people. Yeah. Because I believe that he's above all these people. He's one of my closest friends. Who's one of my biggest support systems, and I don't work with him, but one of my biggest support systems who really helps me, and I hold his hand, is Karan Johar. Does he belong to the industry? Yes, he does. Does that make him bad? No way. I think he's a fantastic human being. He's a fantastic human being. Who do I love and respect the most in my entire ecosystem? Aditya Chopra.
Exactly.
Aditya Chopra calls a spade a spade.
Dhoom too.
If I do something idiotic, he'll say, and he's my senior from school.
Yeah.
He says, John, kya kar raha hai tu yaar? You've done something, idiot you are. You know, or if I remember if I got into this problem with this co-producer, he's saying, why do you choose partners like this? So he's very matter of fact, but I love him and respect him the most. Does he belong to the industry? Yes, he does belong to the industry. So I believe that our industry, and this is what I love about our industry is very agnostic to religion, to culture, to people.
It's the most beautiful part of it.
It's lovely. It's lovely. And we're a very inclusive lot. But keeping that in mind, John Abraham has to know that he has to fight harder. And every day he has to be fitter, stronger, faster.
You said that the industry is beautiful, it's like very secular. But does it bother you that when you just see this entire debate going on that Amir Khan should not be doing a Mahabharat because he's a Muslim? Tomorrow to matlab ye bol sakte hain that John Abraham should not be doing this because he's a Christian or a Parsi. Yeah. So does that bother you? Because I think no one can be more patriotic than you or maybe Amir.
Yeah. I think it's I think the fact that you're asking me, we should not even discuss this because it's fueling something that's so irrelevant. Honestly, Faridun, I believe...
But it has become very real. You should see what Javed Saab has said. Javed Saab has tweeted about this entire debate on Mahabharat and Amir. And it's like that it is the most secular industry which has been there in the country since the beginning. And you're trying to bring all these things into this, which
Let me tell you, I have in Parmanu, my name is Krishna. My code name is Krishna because I'm the Marg Darshak. Am I proud to play that? Oh man, I'm blessed proud to play that. I'm very happy to play that. We've used the connotations of Mahabharat in our film to simplify it to the audience, to tell the audience that ye Pandav saath mein aaye. DRDO, BRC, ISRO, Intelligence Bureau and Army. 5 Pandavas, they've come together. Why? Because I want to simplify it to my audience. Do I feel proud to speak about the Mahabharat? Yeah, I feel totally proud. Should Amir be doing Mahabharat? Yes. Why? Amir is fantastic. I as an audience go and see Amir Khan films.
Kya baat hai?
He's fantastic, and why should he not do it? He should do it, and we are there to support him.
And it should remain like that, because frankly speaking, that till the time you don't tell anyone that it's like John Abraham, no one even thinks about it. Honestly
Nobody
speaking,
thinks so.
No one, like Jacqueline Fernandez, no one even thinks about the fact that she's from Sri Lanka or like her name is Jacqueline Fernandez.
Not at all.
She's a performer. She's a great performer.
And she's a lovely person, and she's as Indian as she's Sri Lankan today. She loves, how we don't treat her differently. We love her. Right. Everybody, we respect people from our industry.
Right. After this intense discussion, let's take a few fan questions. I've taken a few fan questions. Let's take a few of them.
Do fans ever ask you about your singing and your song?
I'm not getting into that. Okay.
Which is the song you sung, but there was a lovely song you sung. The romantic one.
Which one?
Which is the romantic song you sung? With all the montages at the back of the lakes and the...
Okay, this one, October one?
No, English song.
Acha, that Right Here Waiting.
Right Here Waiting.
Yeah.
Can you just sing it?
I'll sing it later.
Oh, you won't
let's take a few fan questions. All right. So this is Pratik Dhamicha from Sydney, Australia. What is the latest update on Hamara Bajaj? Very interesting title.
Oh, so Hamara Bajaj is still in the process. It's something we still want to do, and as a producer, I want to do it only with Ayushmann because he's the perfect cast for it. And Ayushmann's excited about it. We are working around it and we want to make it happen sooner than later.
I spoke to Ayushmann for 6 years of Vicky Donor recently, and we had a blast. Had a blast.
Yeah, he's such a sense of humor.
In fact, I'll send you that link. You should see that because we've just taken all the entire ingredients of Vicky Donor. It's like really funny. It's turned out really funny. All right, this is Piyush from Gurgaon, India. Since you have become a producer, do you look at the filmmaking process in a different way? Has it affected how you choose your films now?
Yeah, totally. Who's asked this question?
This is Piyush from Gurgaon, India.
Yeah, so Piyush, I think, yes, as an actor, I feel much more safer doing a J entertainment film because I know my content is far more curated. It goes through so many levels of research and anybody who reads my content says, man, where do you think of these ideas and how do you go through this? So as an actor, yes, you do change your thought process, but there are certain films that as a producer that I'm still not equipped to do. For one, the genre I can never attempt is adult comedy. I'm not equipped to do it. I'm not an expert at doing that. The other one is general comedies like Houseful 2 or Welcome Back that I'm a big fan of. So I think for those, at this point of time, I'll still look outside as an actor. But for the rest of it, I think J Entertainment is a perfect fit.
Right, but you know, with your yellow trunks, I think you are a part of many of adult fantasy that will always be there, I believe.
Yeah, I love those yellow trunks. I love them. I think they're lovely. And I had to auction them off, but let's not talk about auctions now.
And you know, I've been saying it for so many years that I don't know why Dostana 2 was never made. I think, you know, because that was one franchise that should have been.
Can you believe I just spoke about two of my dearest friends? I spoke about Karan Johar and Abhishek Bachchan, and Dostana 2 is not made.
Right.
And I still don't give up. I still want it to be made, and I still look at Karan. I say, Karan, you need to do it. You need to do it.
Yeah, I think they should. They seriously should. Actually. All right, this is Amit Kumar from Patna, Bihar. Congrats for Parmanu. It's epic like Madras Cafe. Everyone is proud of it, and so am I. When can we expect Rocky returns? Any plans for John Wick Bollywood version?
Yeah, so a lot of people have been asking me this, and I'm planning probably, and I believe that Rocky Handsome probably had the best action Hindi cinema scene.
It had. It's like seriously good actually.
Yeah, and a lot of people from your so-called Hollywood looked at it and said, "Man, where's this come from?" And they said, "India, this action. Who's this guy?" You know, so I think I need to up the quotient. And I think I want to do that, and I will be doing an action franchise, and I'll make sure it's the mother of all action films. Like, it'll be something else at another level. So before I get into that, I really need to kind of heal all my wounds from the last film that I just did, Satyamev Jayate.
Right.
And then get into this.
Okay, Milap Zaveri must have been really interesting because he's a changed man. He's lost like I think 35 kgs or something like that.
You know, Milap is a strange species, let me tell you that. I'll tell you why.
Strange species, that's
I'll tell you why.
Saying,
because in today's materialistic world, to find a guy whose only heart is very difficult, and Milap is that guy. And I don't think Milap also realizes, and I'm saying this on record, I don't think he realizes what Manoj Bajpayee and me realize, that his script is one of the most fantastic scripts ever. So when Manoj Bajpayee and me sit, we say, यार इसको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि उसने क्या लिखा है, कुछ अलग ही जानवर this script is. It's so good, which is why Manoj and I decided to do it exactly within 5 or 10 seconds after hearing the script. The minute we heard it, yes, I'll do it. There was no time to think. We wanted to do it. And you must speak to Manoj about this.
No, I will.
And he will tell you about Satyamev Jayate because he is fantastic in the film.
No, even I think the bonding that you guys have been having on Twitter, I think he's been extremely supportive of you.
Yeah, he's been lovely and he's a good man.
And many times people don't take sides during certain issues, but he has been there.
Yeah, he's been there. Honestly, at the end of the day, when you talk about the business of acting, I think he's God.
He's amazing.
He's fantastic, and there's so much to learn when you're just in front of him. And what happens is when you're performing with him, you go up to that level. You're like really performing with him.
Even as a person, I think he's outstanding.
Oh, he's lovely.
He is something else. John, this is Abdullah from Kabul, Afghanistan. Will we see you and Kabir Khan working together again as you both have delivered two very fine films together?
You know, actually,
New York and Kabul Express.
I would love to work. Abdullah, man tamame Afghanora dozdarum. I love Afghanistan. It's one of my most favorite places in the world.
Right.
And it's got, I would say, the nicest people in the world. Mehman Nawazi.
Loving, yeah. Very loving.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I would love to work with Kabir again. And Kabir should do a film with me which takes us to a very dangerous place. You know why? Because Kabir Khan is a very brave man.
Yes.
And he'll have to take me by default because no other actor will go there. So I'll have to be in it. So I think that's how Kabul Express happened, because no actor would have wanted to go where I have gone.
Right.
And I think let's drop an idea to Kabir that we should go to Syria or Iraq. Because that's my dream, that I want to go there next.
My God.
Very clearly.
All right. Okay. This is Mohammad Sardar from Iraq, Kurdistan.
Arey, wow.
मतलब लोग सुन रहे हैं आपकी बातें
Very
actually.
good.
Okay, will you work with Akshay Kumar again? Like, just imagine.
I'd love to, because I think Akshay has taught me a lot in terms of comic timing. Just watching him has been a learning experience. And if there was one film that I would have wanted to do with Akshay again, it would be Garam Masala.
That's the next question actually. That is the next question from, I'm sorry to interrupt, this is Sai Prasad Chawan. Are you planning to do Garam Masala 2 with Akshay Kumar?
I'd love to. I mean, I have to give all this feedback to Akshay and I have to tell him, boss, people are asking, what are you doing? Let's do this, you know. Because honestly, I'm itching to do a comedy.
Right.
बहुत serious बहुत हो गया यार. I want to do a comedy and have fun now.
All right. This is Nitin Rathore from Aurangabad. How much prep you had to do before doing the film? PS, I'm watching it tonight on the first day.
Hi Nitin. For one, my director told me to absolutely deconstruct myself, stop going to the gym, because he told me that even a blind man knows what John Abraham looks like from the back, you know, because I have a large back. So he said, just stop working out, eat normal food, live like a normal human being. You know, if you're going to Rajasthan, have gatta curry, you know, have normal food. So I think that was one part of it. The other part of it is Abhishek Sharma is a NSD graduate. So, National School of Drama. So, we had to go through a lot of workshops, and I think I have passed that stage today talking about weight gain or weight loss for a film. It's more about workshops and the level of performance and the subtleties in the performance in a film. So, I think we concentrated on that, and I think in the first 5 minutes you forget that John Abraham's on screen and you look at Ashwath Raina.
I think even your face, I think, is looking softer than maybe what generally it tends to.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
it's yeah, like definitely, because you know your workouts have changed. You want to look leaner, more real, rather than just. I mean, my leaner is 95 kilos, and I'm 6'1.5". So, and genetically, I'm built in a certain way where even if I try and hide it, it's very difficult to hide. You know. But I do my best in whatever capacity I can.
Right. Okay. Next one is a very interesting question. This is, hello John, this is Faten from Jordan. While your film discussed the nuclear, are you support, the English will be all over the place, but I think the question is very good. While your film discussed the nuclear, are you support or against such this attempt, while you see how the world affect, like what's happened with Syria now, for example, the huge country try a nuclear weapon on innocent people?
Yeah, so let me not get into Syria and what's happening there, because there are two sides to the story. But definitely I'm not in support of nuclear weaponization, and the world has become a far more dangerous place. But we made this film, just Fatim, in 1998, when India had to take a stand at that point of time. India is a non-violent country. Till today, we have not used nuclear weapons. I believe India will never use nuclear weapons, and India would be the first to renounce nuclear weapons if our dear friends America do it first.
All right. In fact, Fatin has a few more questions. I think I'll take just one more from him. It seems this will be one of your best. My question is, what is the most difficult thing when you did film based on real story? So what is
the most difficult thing
Fatin,
when you do a film based on real story is to get the facts right. You cannot go wrong in your facts. So, you know, when you watch the film, please watch Parmanu. When you see it, at the end of the film, it's called a postscript, where you see the real photographs of what happened. And only then will you respect what we've done in the film, because we've not deviated from one single fact. Even the shell of the bombs that went down, to the deer park where they were operating from, to the equipment that was used, to the way they dressed. Everything is factual, except of course the names of the characters.
All right, this is Rakesh from Vizag. What have you learned from your character in this film that would be benefit to you in upcoming films?
I think what I've learned is that you need to really dwell into your characters more and more and more, and invest time in your characters. For example, when I was doing Parmanu, we spoke about Ashwath Raina's parents. What did his grandparents do? What did his great-grandparents do probably? It's not going to be used in the film. But what it does is it gives your body and your face a language that speaks differently from what you do as an actor. So it helped me a lot, and I think you may categorize that as method acting, but even in that method there is a lot of spontaneity and organic performances that happen on set.
Priya from Singapore, what was it that made him accept to do the role in Parmanu? What is his favorite scene from the movie? Most memorable shoot?
Yeah, so I think Parmanu, Priya, the reason why I did Parmanu was because it's a non-formula film. Parmanu, when I heard it first, I fell in love with the subject, and I said, after India's independence, this is probably the most defining moment in Indian history. And I was shocked as to why someone didn't even attempt this film. So Abhishek and I decided to do it. It's a film that doesn't have any cliches, but it's a film that, I think the most difficult part of this film, Priya, is it's such a complicated subject, so simply told, that when you watch it, you'll be like, it's so simple, you know. But it's so simple because we made it simple for every simple person to understand, not just a few engineers and scientists to understand. And my most favorite line in the film is, I think, when I say, हमने जो किया वो देश के लिए था, हमने जो सोचा वो देश के लिए है, और हमने जो पाया वो देश का होगा. And I think that's a fantastic line in the film.
You know, everything is going into sequence somehow, for some reason or the other. The next question is by Nitin Rathod, and he says, love the dialogue, हमने जो किया देश के लिए. So I think everything is John is talking about.
Yeah.
And this is going to be one of the biggest movie of your career. All the best. So he has a few more points. If a movie is made on our first missile, Prithvi, you should be a part of it. These kind of movies suit you. So Nitin Rathod. So the question of Nitin Rathod that I'm taking is, how will you describe your journey from Dhoom to Parmanu?
I think I've matured as an actor completely, but if I was told to do Dhoom 4, I'd still do Dhoom 4 because I love sitting on motorcycles. And in fact, after this interview, Faridun, the best part is that I'm going to go and look at another 1100cc motorcycle that I'm buying. So I'm continuously discussing motorcycles. So I think my journey has been fantastic. I've matured as an actor, but very important. This is Nitin's question, right?
Nitin Rathod.
Nitin, hi. I just want to tell you something very interesting. And Faridun, this is very interesting. When I came into this industry, most male models had failed. I was considered a non-actor when I came in here. And today, when people look back at my performances in No Smoking, in Kabul Express, in Zinda, in Taxi 911, in New York, and even Jism, you know, even Dhoom, in Saya, they look at so many of those performances, Shootout, and they say, man, that was brilliant. What's happened is the subtleties in my performance haven't changed, but the audience tastes have changed. So what was the garish and the over-the-top expression, acting that was considered very good 5 years ago, even 10 years ago, today is considered absurd. And people are looking at the subtleties in performance. And I'm thankful that today's audience exists, because today's audience is going to give me that longer shelf life that I always wanted.
No, definitely. Madras Cafe has been there.
Madras Cafe is probably my best performance till date.
There have been...
Till before Parmanu.
Yeah. It's time for Rapid Fire with John Abraham. All right. And he's a pro at this, and he's really good at this. All right.
I'll give the right answers if you sing right here. Wait. Okay, go on.
I'll do that. I'll give you the music video.
Okay.
All right. So this is Rapid Fire with John Abraham. A historical character that you'd like to portray.
There's so many that, honestly, there's so many that I've researched. But I'd say the one intriguing character, maybe I wouldn't portray him, would be Subhash Chandra Bose.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that should be interesting.
Yeah, it's really, really exciting. Another interesting historical character, since we're talking, that I love to portray, is Nathuram Godse.
Oh.
Yeah. Because if I said Gandhi, it would be regular. But if I say Godse, then it's a film by J Entertainment. You know?
Alright, so that's interesting. Okay, what would you do if you were stuck in an elevator with Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump?
I think I'd explain to Mr. Trump that the world is not only America's point of view, and I'd explain to Kim Jong-un just to relax, take a chill pill, and don't go mental. And you know, I think between the two of them, I think it's being stuck between the devil and the deep blue sea. So I think they both are guilty parties, honestly. I have no preferences, yeah.
So this is, I think, very, very interesting. This is really interesting. Someone who knows can only give.
I think, but I'll tell you about Kim. Kim's become very popular after his South Korean meet that he had, and when he crossed over the border and he sat on the bench. Right. Suddenly he's become the world's favorite child right now. And of course, we have Trump every now and then cancelling his meetings and you know, saying that these are my prerequisites and these are my preconditions. Right. I'm sure the other gentleman is just laughing his way away, saying that I've got the best bunch of hackers. I'm going to hack you at any point of time and whenever I want to. You know? Absolutely.
All right. Hero वर्दी से नहीं इरादे से बनते हैं. One person that comes in your mind when you hear this.
I think a lot of people that I met, like I met a gentleman called People Baba in Delhi. He's planted 2 crore trees. He's a hero for me. I met some Vardi people also, like in CRPF, who fought the Naxalites. But I think generally the people that come to my mind, irade se bante, I think the biggest hero in my life is my mother.
Oh wow.
Because she does social work without really screaming about it. Like how we actors scream about everything, no? We do. Trying to look nice in everybody's eyes and wanting to look lovely and all. My mother does it, and she told me one thing. She thinks, son, a person's character comes in front when he does things and doesn't talk about it.
Yeah.
Which is why we don't talk about what we do.
All right, great. Your favorite patriotic film in India?
I think Parmanu.
Okay.
Definitely. And I'm not saying it because I did it. It is the best film on India.
Okay, who's a better villain in Dhoom franchise, Aamir or Hrithik?
John Abraham.
John Abraham.
Dhoom is about motorcycles.
Right. And that's John Abraham.
Yeah, and John can ride a motorcycle better than he can walk.
Okay.
Oh, finished. There's no discussion there.
If you can react to these in just one word, okay, if you can react to these in just one word, reality shows.
They exist.
Casting couch.
Exist.
Censor board.
Censor board. Should be more democratic.
Okay. Critics in India.
A necessary evil.
Necessary evil. Remakes and sequels.
Remakes and sequels. Good.
Okay. Award ceremonies in India.
Joke. Complete joke. It's a circus.
Complete joke. It's a circus.
Yeah,
Everyone
totally
knows that who's going to be winning it.
Yeah, and I mean, what do you do here? You dance there. What do you do? I've been told that if I go, I'll get an award. If I don't go, they'll give it to someone else. Where's the commitment to going for it? It's a joke. Everybody knows it. Even the viewer today, even the person who's watching this, even you know it.
It's entertainment show, basically.
Yeah. I hope you're not coming out with Bollywood Hungama awards.
No, we are not.
Okay. Because I lose faith in everything. All of you guys.
No, we are not.
So there are about 74 awards, now.
We are not.
Yeah. And one person goes to every award dancing till he just falls.
Right. Okay.
And you should be going to award and performings right here waiting.
Right.
I just saw it and I was like, wow. Have you seen it? I'll ask, what do you feel about it? Tell me honestly.
He has shot the music video in
How
Egypt.
Is it?
Egypt we shot it.
तूने shoot किया तो अच्छा ही बोलेगा.
What would you do if you meet the following filmy character? Sama Pratap, Ranbir from Rajniti.
I haven't seen Rajniti.
Okay, what would you do if you meet Vijay Dinanath Chauhan from Agnipath?
I want to be a hero like him.
You want to be a hero
Pura
like...
naam, you know?
Pura naam.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Alright, okay. Bhuvan from Lagan.
I would love for Bhuvan to exist today because everything would be tax-free. You know what I'm saying?
Too much of tax.
CGST, SGST would all be out of the window.
Right.
I would want Bhuvan to help me with Parmanu. So
Right.
we go to the central government and the Ministry of Revenues to make it tax-free, and I cannot do it. Only Bhuvan can do it.
Okay, so if you comment about the hike in petrol prices, and the fact is that it is happening because of the fact that's too much of tax in this. That if you take away the tax, the price automatically should come down much lesser than what.
No, I think honestly we can say whatever we want to. The hike was inevitable. It had to happen. It had to happen. We're complaining about it, but this is the state of affairs today.
Okay, Sardar Khan from Gangs of Wasseypur.
That's who played that? That's
Manoj Bajpayee.
Manoj Bajpayee. See, this is where I talk about superlative performances.
Right.
Is Sardar Khan.
So what would you do if you meet Sardar Khan?
I don't know much because I've seen it in portions, very honestly, and because of Manoj, I saw his portions. But what would I do if I meet Sardar Khan? Is something heroic and villainish about him at the same time.
Okay, what would you do if you meet DJ from Rang De Basanti?
So Rang De Basanti, DJ's Amir's character. I think I'd do exactly what DJ did in the end of the film. I love the climax of the film.
Kill the politicians.
Totally. My love for...
All right, one word to describe Parmanu.
Inspiring.
Inspiring. All right. So, John Abraham, apart from Satyamev Jayate, what is it that you're doing next?
So Satyamev Jayate releases on the 15th of August.
Right.
I finished the film on the 8th of June.
Right.
Then I go into shoot for Raw, which is a film called Romeo Akbar Walter.
Correct.
With Robbie Grewal as the director. And then I do Batla House with Nikhil Advani.
Nikhil Advani.
Yeah.
Right. So that's, I think, another film which I think can be quite controversial because apparently you guys are taking all the aspects because they're different versions to that.
Yeah, they're different versions. So I think Nikhil's in a better position to explain that. But it's one of the most explosive scripts. And the only thing I can tell you that it's a story about a man whose religion was his uniform, and that's it. Nothing else.
His religion was his uniform. Fantastic. John Abraham, pleasure talking to you. Wonderful talking to you.
Why aren't you singing?
And I will later.
Okay.
Okay, and congratulations for the great reviews for Parmanu.
Thank you.
From what we've been told that the people are loving it as well. The first few shows have just taken place and people are loving it as well. And we hope that the word of mouth spreads and it emerges as a huge success. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Faizan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's all we have from BollywoodHungama. Keep on watching.
Hi, this is John Abraham and you're watching Bollywood Hungama.